From Cheshire, they're reporting. Let's go live to Turkey now, bringing our international correspondent John Sparks, who's joining us from Osmaniye, near the border with Syria. John, just tell us about the situation where you are.
Good morning. I think an absolutely typical scene here in this city of 250,000, about 150 miles from the epicenter of the earthquake. We're on one of the main boulevards in this city. It's called Musa Shahir Boulevard. And what has happened here is that the earthquake has brought down some buildings, others have been left standing. Let's go and we don't want to get in the rescuers' way here. Let's just have a bit of a look here. What they've done is brought in a couple of diggers. They are working on the remains of an apartment building. They're taking rubble out from the side, and what some of the rescuers told us was that they heard voices overnight. They think there may be up to 15 people in the rubble. Let's come around again and have a look. I know the sun, we are fighting the sun here a little bit. You can see they're trying to remove rubble from this site. Very difficult. They've got two diggers now working here. They think up to 15 people underneath the rubble. But what we've got here is a sort of do-it-yourself collection of people. City workers, we've got members of the fire department, but no specialist fire and rescue, no specialist search and rescue officials. They're doing it themselves. And here on the other side, we've got some people with relatives who were in the building itself. Very emotional scenes a little bit earlier. You see people here on the side waiting for news of loved ones, friends who were inside this building the last time that they saw them. Should we move around again? Let's have a look. I mean, they're working with real speed now. And I think the feeling here is they've got to do something. It's very cold. Temperatures sub-zero at night. It's very cold still. Okay, we're just going to move back. We're being asked to move back a little bit by the organizers here. Yes, understand. Thank you. They're doing their best, but it is an emergency situation, but it's not being done by emergency workers. There's people here from the fire department. They're doing the best they can. They don't have the search and rescue personnel with their specialist equipment. For example, the heat tracking equipment that they use to try and locate people under the rubble. So they're doing the best that they can. And that really is the situation in this city as a whole. Some buildings have been brought down, others haven't. But really the local authorities have been overwhelmed by this at the moment.
John, as we're watching your reporting, we can see that those guys there in the hard hats seem to be local council officials, as you mentioned, not specialist teams at all. And we often see that after the rubble is cleared away, that people try and move in with a more close search. But you seem to be saying that, and it seems to be from the pictures that we're seeing, that they're trying to clear as much of the debris as possible because the building further back, they believe that they have heard people who are trapped beneath it. Just describe for us the area, because you say that building's come down. Are the other buildings nearby, are they still standing?
That's right. I mean, it is seemingly random how the earthquake has destroyed some buildings and left others in seemingly perfect condition. And I mean, this site here, I'm going to ask my colleague Olivia to pan back to the building. There's an apartment building tucked between two others with a very large pile of rubble behind it, and we are fighting the sun a little bit to film this, and what they are doing is they've got these two diggers now at work, and they are trying to clear the rubble. The building itself has pancaked on itself. It's come down, it's collapsed. Clearly a decision has been made that the best thing to do now is to remove as much rubble as they can. And it is difficult to see how any person or people trapped underneath that rubble could survive for long under there, particularly in these temperatures. It's a difficult situation for them. Again, they're making decisions on the best available information they have. They don't have search and rescue teams here on site. The personnel here in the red jackets, they are from the local fire department. So they're doing what they can. I can actually see, I can see one or two search and rescue people now on site taking a look. And that is the first time since we've been here. We've been here for about an hour. What we were told from one person was that there were 4 people, they thought, trapped underneath the rubble. We were told by several others that there were up to 15. They heard voices overnight. They heard voices, but they haven't been able to get those people out. And you know, you can see why. I mean, I'm looking at 10, 12 meters of rubble, of slabs of concrete collapsed in on themselves. It's difficult to see how anybody would survive the collapse of a building like this. Very, very difficult. But, you know, they're going to try. They're here. They need help, clearly. And you've got people on the other side of the street desperate for news. I mean, absolutely desperate. There are people, women on the other side, crying as they look on. Clearly have friends or loved ones inside this building, and they are waiting for news. And this is the only thing they can do. The only thing they can do is to come here and watch. That must be, you know, just an indescribably awful feeling.
Yes, John, absolutely helpless, those people on the other side of the street there. And you mentioned you've been there for about an hour. I wonder if you've had a chance to speak to anyone over there, and have they told you what's been happening for the past day?
Just the briefest of conversations, and we got the immediate sense that local officials, people who work for the city here, really overwhelmed by the situation. We have stopped on the way into the city on one of the main boulevards that leads to the central square, but off the central square we can see other streets where, again, some buildings are standing, others have completely collapsed on themselves. So I think it's fair to say that they're really struggling with this. I mean, I'm going to follow my colleague Olivia here. I mean, we can see a lot of destruction here. This is just one small part of the city, and they've got diggers here, they've got the equipment, they do have the infrastructure. What they don't have is the specialist personnel to help them deal with this. And we saw them coming in. We flew in last night. We saw search and rescue teams from the Czech Republic, from the Netherlands, from Turkey itself, but they need them here. They need them here quickly.